This is my Bio 169 heart dissection. In this video, I will identify key heart structures and their functions. The blue pencil represents the aorta, the largest artery in the body. It carries oxygen and rich blood from the left ventricle to the rest of the body, ensuring that all organs receive the necessary oxygen and nutrients. This is the aortic valve, a valve located between the left ventricle and the aorta. It prevents blood from flowing back into the heart after being pumped out, ensuring a one-way flow. This is the apex, the lower pointed tip of the heart. It helps push blood out of the heart. This is the left atrium, the upper left part of the heart. It gets oxygen-rich blood from the lungs and sends to the left ventricle. And this is the right atrium, the upper right part of the heart. It gets blood without oxygen from the body and sends to the right ventricle. This is the right auricle, a small part of the right atrium that helps hold extra blood before sending to the right ventricle. And this is the left auricle, a small part of the left atrium that helps hold extra blood before sending into the left ventricle. This is the base, the top part of the heart, where big blood vessels like the aorta and pulmonary trunk connect. The orange pencil represents the brachiocephalic artery, an artery that comes from the aorta and sends oxygen-rich blood to the right side of the head. These are the coronary tendineae, small, strong cords that connect heart valves to the heart muscle and helps keep the valves in place. This is the endocardium, the thin inside layer of the heart that makes sure blood flows smoothly. And this is the epicardium, the thin outside layer of the heart that protects it. This is the inferior vena cava, a big vein that brings blood without oxygen from the lower body to the right atrium. This part represents the interventricular septum, the thick wall between the left and right ventricles. It keeps oxygen-rich and oxygen-poor blood from mixing. This is the intravascular sulcus, a groove on the heart surface that separates the right and left ventricles, containing blood vessels. This part right here is the bicuspid valve, the structure that separates the left atrium from the left ventricle, preventing blood flow into the atrium. This is the myocardium, the thick muscular layer of the heart responsible for contractions. This is the papillary muscle, a structure inside the ventricles that enters the heart valves via cord tendineae. This is the right and left pulmonary artery, the blood vessel that carries the oxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. This is the pulmonary trunk, the large artery that exists in the right ventricle and splits into the right and left pulmonary arteries. And this is the pulmonary valve, the structure located between the right ventricle and the pulmonary trunk, preventing blood backflow into the ventricle. And this is the superior vena cava, the large vein that returns the oxygenated blood from the upper body to the right atrium. That part right here is the tricuspid valve, the structure that separates the right atrium from the right ventricle, prevents blood backflow into the atrium. This is the right ventricle, that part right here, the right ventricle. And that part right here is the left ventricle.